There is a layer of particle and gas pollution that's commonly seen hovering over the Colorado Front Range. Scientific research shows that it's mostly caused by the burning of fossil fuels like coal, gasoline, diesel, and natural gas.
The fossil fuel industry has had for decades a really strong focus on trying to convince us that this is our individual fault.
Ortal Ullman with the Union of Concerned Scientists says we all play a role in the formation of Denver's brown cloud, but it will never go away until the fossil fuel industry takes responsibility for their role.
They should be responsible for lowering their emissions. They should be supportive of regulations that actually are based in science and public health measures and that keep Coloradans safe.
But instead of taking responsibility, Ullman says the fossil fuel industry is running a misinformation campaign targeting the citizens and politicians of Colorado. She says their goal is to create confusion and uncertainty about the science and the facts behind the impact of fossil fuels.
And what the industry does is absolutely misleading.
So the Union of Concerned Scientists recently published a report to help people identify the misinformation. Ullman says the report reveals the fossil fuel industry's playbook.
The playbook is, a little bit of a sportsy term, but it's really this compilation of tactics that are tried and true, and that the fossil fuel industry puts into use every day.
One tactic the report calls the fix claims that the fossil fuel industry fixes elections by funding political campaigns and ballot measures by outspending grassroots efforts. Another tactic called the fake claims that the fossil fuel industry uses inaccurate statistics about employment and economic impact to overplay the industry's importance to Colorado. A tactic the report calls the diversion claims the fossil fuel industry uses misinformation in advertisements where they imply false support for the environment and alternative fuels. Ullman says the Union of Concerned Scientists uses public information and proven peer-reviewed science to back all the claims in their report.
So much of what they are able to get away with is because what they do often is not illegal, it's just deeply deceptive.
And she says the fossil fuel industry uses side organizations to deliver the misinformation to the public.
These are front groups that make it seem as though these messages are coming from the people of Colorado themselves, but are actually coming from the industry.
The report shows that fossil fuel companies create these side groups with innocuous-sounding names to seem more believable to the public. Ullman says she hopes the report will help Coloradans see fossil fuel facts more clearly and maybe even help clear the Colorado skies.
Great to make steps in our own lives to live in a greener way, but the change that needs to happen really has to be at the systematic level, changing this industry, changing these companies.
Meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen, 9 News.